Hello everybody. Sunday morning, nice and bright and sunny and everything out there. Postcards. That's what I was going to do with this today. There's many ways, is what I will say, and you'll find what suits you. You'll find all manner of stuff on the internet, how to make a postcard, what to do, how to do, where to go, all this sort of stuff. I'm going to show you what I do. It's not the only thing by any means, and it's not necessarily the best way, but it's what I do. Okay, so right, first of all, I've got a little box of tricks here. Those that have been to my classes might know this box of tricks. Yeah, look, just out of interest, there's a bit of trapunto and corded going on there. This was one of my City and Guild pieces, look, and there's underbox and yeah. Anyway, it's full of postcards. That's where I keep my postcards. So what I want to do is just quickly show you they really don't apply. Things go wrong when I make stuff. They probably go wrong for you as well, but you know what, you learn from it, don't you? So what have we got going on? So this is one way of doing, all right. So we get whatever we want on the front of our postcard, and then I put it on a bit of something, and then I put actually a blank paper postcard on the back. Okay, so I've stretched that one over, I've stitched it and then stuck that. Okay, so that's one way. This is one of my Violin ones, as I call it, and I'll tell you more about that in a minute. So I've got a nice bit of patchwork going on there, and then there's something stiffening in the middle, which is what I'll tell you about in a minute. And then all I've done is done a fancy stitch around the outside edge and pinked the edges. Yeah, so that I don't have to worry. You know, to me, postcards should generally be quick things. Now, if it's, oh, there's a big wasp over there. I'll have to sort him out later, send him out the window. Yeah, to me, postcards should be quite quick and thinking of you, and here you go, chuck it in the post, all right? If I was doing a card or something for somebody special, then I would obviously take far more attention to it and take a lot of time, and it will be nicely finished. It's a totally different thing in my mind. You'll find what works for you. All right, so there's another one here. This actually came to me from Victoria. All right, so this one's come through the post. Look, there's a stamp on it and everything. And that's got a piece of paper been stuck on the back, and it's been made in a tube and something solid put in the middle and then just stitched each end. Another way of doing it. Be aware of things that you attach. All right, so that's got a nice big bead on it, and one there. That one's a little bit coming off, but that's going to be because it actually went through the postal machines. Yeah, it's been hand stamped, but it's been in through everything. But since this one, what date's that? Can't see a date on there, but it's a very long time ago. They now go on the width more of your post, don't they? So if this was to be posted now, this would go as a large letter. So be aware, because it's too wide to go to the normal letter. So if you were posting that these days, you would have to put more postage on it. All right, so that's something, 2 lessons there. If you're attaching stuff, attach it really well. Okay. An actual fact, the stamp itself, put some glue underneath it. Make sure it stays where you put it, because you might be putting that onto fabric. Yeah, so get your stamp stuck well down. All right. Yeah, so really stitched, not too thick unless you're prepared to pay for it to be too thick, and lots of glue. That's a piece of felting that I did, but actually look, I've turned and bound the edge properly. I do it sometimes. And that's got fabric on the back, and I would use a fabric pen to write on there. Okay, what's that one? Oh, that's got handmade paper on the back. All of these things you can machine through if you need to. If it's card or something like that, just take your time on your machine. I tend to use my blunt needles already. Why blunt another one? It's going to happen. Where's that one? That one's come from USA to me. Yep. All right, blah bless, with stamps and things, everything on there. How cool's that? Yeah, and she's written that with a fabric marker, I would say. And that's had a separate binding put on and turned in. That was a photo that I took of a ceiling in Dubai. Great big dome ceiling up. And I just literally, this was in the middle of a shopping mall. And I'm sat having coffee with my brother. And I'm like, oh my God, look at all these tiles. All I could see absolutely everywhere was patchwork patterns. I mean, it was many years ago now. But patchwork patterns everywhere. And so I just turned the camera upwards. And that was the ceiling. How amazing is that? Anyway, so I printed off a photo of that onto fabric. And I've machined and on a card. Crazy patchwork, as in amazingly done by my mate Margaret. Morning, Margaret. Hope it's all right down the hill there. This one here, I'm whipping through them now, because what I will do is over the next few weeks we will look more in depth at these and see what we can replicate. That one from Canada. May the light always find you on a dreary day. When you need to be home, may you find your way. May you always have courage to take a chance and never find frogs in your underpants. Well, there we go. Bev, that's fabulous. I don't know if you're still about and watching, but how lovely is that? That's Fort St John. And that's come through the postal system from Canada. Look, stamp's been well stuck on there. That's onto a piece of cardboard. Yeah, and has been stitched in through and around. Where's that one come from? Pat over in Bodmin. Hello, Pat, darling twig. How you doing, dar? There we go. Has it got a date on that? There we go. The 28th of the 5th, 2011. So that's 10 years old, that one now. Thanks, Pat. That was another technique that we'll have a little look at and play with. And another technique. You know, there's all sorts of things going on here. These are all different samples that I've made, just to give an idea. Right, oh look, and there's a Christmas one. We got a Christmas, all right, and that one's from Laurie. That's lovely. That was 2012. We've got another one here, Falala, Pennsylvania, USA. So again, a nice little bit. That's an embroidery, I should imagine, off of a machine been put onto. That's one of my drawings. So that's one of my pen drawings. I've stamped the fabric in the first place, and then I've drawn it, and then I've stitched it, and then I've turned it happily onto the back. I can hear that wasp. Onto some paper. And that one there has been hand stitched on. I don't know if you can see the edge of that, because he was a little bit difficult to put under machine. So look, there's a whole heap there of what we can do. So I made one yesterday, just really, really quickly. Okay. So I think it's an excellent way just to start. Now, I was going to tell you about this stuff. It's a heavy duty Violin interfacing type thing, but it's solid. I tend to use it in handbags, postcards and such like. What I have done for us all, because I figured it might be a good thing, if you've not done postcards before and you've not got something to hand, you can machine through this, is why I love it. It's just enough stiff, but you can machine with no problem whatsoever. I've cut up a load, because I sell it. Where's me thing? There's me thing. Let me show you. I wasn't that prepared. I thought I was all prepared today, and obviously I'm not. Look, this is the it's Violin, and it's really heavy duty. I tend to call it craft Violin. It's not on your usual roll. You won't get it on the big stuff. All right. So I sell it by the meter, but what I've done for us is I've cut up a load. They're 6x4 thereabouts, fractionally under on the 6, and there's 12 in there. All right. I'm going to put them over on my website if anybody wants to purchase any. I'll put the link into Facebook, into Patchwork Witterings. All right. Packs of 12 innards, and I've called them Postcard Innards, literally. All right. Now it works out basically with postage £4. My website will stick £2 postage on everything automatically, anything under £10. So actually, because this is light and it's going to go in a large letter, it's only about £1. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put these on the website at £2 a pack. Okay, so that when it puts the postage on, it will cost you £4, which is what it should cost you. all right? Otherwise, I spend hours fiddling around trying to get you your postage refunds for £1 all over the place. So just believe me when I say it's all good, all right? So I'm going to put some of them on if anybody wants. Don't feel obliged, obviously, but if they're useful, then that's good, and I'll cut up some more. Right, so what did I do yesterday? I got myself a piece of that, and I got myself out of my scrap pile, where you can see it's just like it's actually silver on that side, but I'm not going to use that side because I'm thinking this is going to be the back of my card, and I want to write on it, so I don't really want the silver spot getting in the way of it. So all I did literally was I put that on top of there like that, and I've got me rotary cutter. Be careful, blades in whenever you finish, and I've just gone up the side of it like that. All right, so I've got a piece that's pretty well what I need. Now I've gone and got a glue pen, but you can just use a normal pen, pins, all right, because I just want to stick that. I'm going to stick it on this side, yeah, there we go, bit of that, nothing very, and it's just really to hold that in position whilst you're trying to do stuff with the other side. Okay, so there we are, that will do. All right, we're going to machine that anyway, so it will stay in there properly after. But actually, I've got a nice bubble going on in it. Oh, you should see me when I'm layering quilts, that's not good either. Right, so there we go, so that's that. All right, and then oh, there's a baby Tom here crying his heart out. Did you see my flowers? Look, look, look. How gorgeous are they? Thank you, Liz. A couple of days ago, they arrived in the post. Totally and utterly unexpected from a lady that I don't know, that I've met only possibly at a show, and then that would only have been briefly. Thank you. That so made my day for sat here doing wittery things. That's just lovely. So I've broken a rule and I've put them here so that everybody can see them today, because you can't smell them, I can. They're gorgeous. Doing lots of lovely smelly things, and there's some of the most amazing colours in these. Look at this tulip, I don't know if you can see that. He's got frilly edges and everything. It's just gorgeous. There we go, we put that there. Tom's just jumped up and got in his bed. He's finished crying at me because I'm ignoring him. Right, so I happen to have some absolutely gorgeous sunflowers. Look, I do love me sunflowers, so I've got that coming. It's a new fabric, and I just think that is lovely on its own. So last night I just quickly made a postcard that is just literally one piece of fabric, and I think that's a good way to start. So go and find a piece of your most favouriteest fabrics, probably with a large design, but obviously that's totally up to you, that we can just use as a picture on its own. I mean, there's a nice bumblebee in this one and a sunflower, and it all, yeah, okay. So what I did to make that one, and I really did make this quickly, I sort of found a piece that I like. Well, we're going to go with the 3 here this morning, all right? So we got the 3, and it's going to be about there, isn't it? Right, so there we are. I'm so mean with my fabric. I'll give anybody fabric in a class if they need it, but I'm so mean with it myself. It's a patchwork thing. I don't know why we like it. Right, so that's going to get that in nicely. So I'm going to get me rotary cutter, and now I'm going to give myself a little bit of extra space on this one because I want to turn it over. All right, so I'm going to do that. Okay, there we are, lovely. Right, now what did I do next? I got a little ruler. Now I don't know if you can see that. I've literally just turned the edges over. That's literally all I've done, and I've left them raw edge. I don't care, they're just raw edge. To Joe Blogs. So yeah, so what I need enough fabric that I can turn over. Okay, so I didn't bother sticking at this point. I just sort of placed him where I thought I needed him, which is going to be about there. All right, I got my ruler. Now actually with this Violin you can feel sort of where the edge is, so I gave myself 1/2 inch all the way around. So literally I've just done that there. Hope it stays where it needs to. Turn it gently. Where's the edge of this one? That's a little bit in, so that's about there. Okay, this might not show so well on the camera, but I know what I'm doing, I think. Yeah, so that's good. This one probably needs a fraction off this side. Okay, And you know, you can get as specific about all of this as you want. As it is, I can't be bothered. Do you know, it's all part of it. It's got to flow, it's got to be good, you know. You can get really hung up over these. As I say, if it was a birthday or a special event or something, I would be far more fussy over what I do. All right. Anyway, so I'm just going to turn that corner in there. All right. And then I'm going to turn that one over there. And then I've got, do you know, I love these new pins. I don't know if you can see that. They've got great big fat heads. Easy grip pins for hands what don't want to play. And to be fair, mine don't like playing that much these days, so I find them really, really good. I like me easy grip pins. So all I'm doing is literally folding the corner in and then pinning. I'm probably pinning in the wrong direction actually, but never mind. It will do just for a minute. And as I say, I've not bothered turning them under. I'm going to go raw edge. All right, turn that corner in there. I don't know if you can see this, I'm trying. And I'm going to turn that in. It's a very bad false mitre, very bad. I don't care, it's all good as long as it holds it in place. And I put my pins at any angle as long as it's holding what I need. If need be, what I did, because you get like a little squarey bit of fabric where you don't necessarily want it. So when I've done everything and I've stitched it, like I did last night, I've gone back in and snipped out the extra bits that shouldn't be there with a pair of scissors. It's dead simple. So basically I'll pin it all the way around, okay? So that it's looking like it looks. So that's all over that nice Violin, and it gets to be quite nicely, it's flexible, it's stitchable, postable, yeah, it's all good, but it's not overly thick, you know, and it gives it a little bit of stumph. So what I then did, you can tell from the stitching, I just ran a line of straight stitch all the way around quickly to hold it in place. Now I've got rotten corners. I don't mind that actually, because that's me, you know. You could be really precise. You could actually turn that over and turn a proper hem like I have on some of these others. Yeah, that's totally your choice. But I just run a quick stitch all the way around. And then I thought, do you know what? And I did it in black on that side and yellow on that side. And I'm thinking, that probably could do with a little bit more of something. So I went in and I've used a fancy stitch. Now, it looks like I've used like a blanket stitch, yeah, on the machine. And I've followed that same line around, but I've done it from the front this time so as I could see what was going on, okay, at the width of the foot. And just given it like a border, yeah, in the same. I had to change all my threads around and go around the other way. I had to rethread the whole machine, but it works, it's worth it. And then I thought, well, that's okay. So that's held it around the sides, but actually it's quite baggy in the middles. So then I'm looking at my design, and actually I've got a bit of thread there. There we go, not any longer. And I'm looking at my design on this, and I'm like, oh, there's a nice sort of leafy doing its thing there, and then and across there. So I then went and got me fabric threads again, and I've run a line of stitch up the stem of what is in effect the leaves. All right, so you might see it from this side better. You can see a line stitch there, here and over here. And what that's done, quilted it in effect. I don't know if you realise that the definition of quilt is a stitch that holds 3 layers together. Okay, that's 3 layers, and I've stitched it, so I've quilted it in effect. But we've got that little bit more solid in the middle, but that's just enough. You could have done loads of it all over, it doesn't matter. But my thought was, if I'm not careful, the area on the back that I want to write on is going to get totally and utterly messed. Yeah, and I wouldn't want to be writing on that. So I've just done 3 bits, enough to hold it where I need it. And then I've written on the back, and I've sort of put where the stamp would be. But because that's fabric that I've put on there, I really would put a blob of glue on the back of my stamp when I stuck it on there as well. Make sure it stays there and you don't land up somebody getting charged at the other end. How awful would that be? You've spent all that time making something lovely to post to someone and they've got to pay for it. Anyway, so there we go. That's postcards for today. Anyway, so have a little play and see what you think. And then we'll worry about what we put on our postcards and different ideas excuse me, over the next sort of 2-3 weeks. And as I say, if you've got nobody to send them to, you're welcome to send them to me. I like me postcards. Yeah, it's all good. I used to run a thing on my website. You send me a postcard, I'll send it one back to you. I'll do it if I can, if I've got enough time and I've got your address more to the point. Yeah. Okay, so there we are. Only the 3 things left to say for the day as normal. A bit of tidying, a lot of exercise, sun's out, and make sure everybody's all right. Yeah, and that's really where this has come from. So, because there's still people out there having problems with life. You know, we're not fully out of all of this yet, and there's a lot of people still concerned. So please, bit of happiness through the post maybe on this occasion. All right, so just check, make sure everyone's all right. That's it for me. So on the website, as I say, I will put packs of these if you want to join and play. Today, actually, I will tell you, today's, because it's Sunday, we've got Sunday special going on. All right, you can see a photo of all the fabrics there. They're absolutely gorgeous. What I've done this time is I've cut 6-inch strips, so that technically you can cut that in half and you'd get like a jelly roll, wouldn't you? You get all your strips if that's what you want. So that would suit all your jelly roll patterns. Or you can leave them and have them as squares and use that as you would your charm pack patterns. But actually you can mess around. It could be borders, it could be anything. It would make a good log cabin, I think. So you've got 14 different fabrics there, 6-inch wide right across the bolt, and they all go really well together. So instead of 27 quid, that's 21 today. But only today. I'm not doing it tomorrow. I'm only doing it today. There we go. One thing left to say. Be lovely.